Hi, this is AJ. Welcome to episode 151 of Here's What I Watched. In this episode, I want to talk about the Bob Odenkirk and Henry Winkler movie Normal, which was directed by Ben Wheatley. I like this movie a lot. It's not a perfect film, but it works very well as an action comedy, a different kind of action comedy than the Nobody films. Don't get me wrong, I like the Nobody films quite a bit, especially the first one. But this is not a movie about an action hero pretending to be a normal guy. It's about a normal guy who somehow finds himself in an action movie and doesn't know what the hell is going on. And a lot of the action in Normal is really over the top, but usually in ways that are very funny. And it was a lot of fun to watch. So yeah, I would absolutely recommend the movie. And what the movie's about? Well, it's about an interim sheriff who takes a quiet assignment in a small Midwestern town called Normal after going through some personal and professional burnout. And at first, the job seems pretty easy. It's a small town. The locals are very polite. Not a whole lot going on. I mean, there is a moose that shows up occasionally, but not a whole lot going on. At least until a couple of drifters do a really bad job of trying to rob the local bank, and then suddenly this interim sheriff finds himself getting shot at by his fellow officers, and not the bank robbers, much to the amazement of both him and the bank robber. And from there, things get a little weirder and a lot messier as everything kind of spirals out of control. And there are some really good action set pieces in the movie, but I think the thing I like most about Normal is that it mostly gets the tone right. It would have been easy for a movie like this to take itself too seriously and turn it into a grim and gritty slog of a movie to get through. Normal doesn't do that. Yeah, there's a lot of tension. It does a good job of ratcheting up the tension, and it delivers on the action, but it also mixes in quite a bit of humor in a way that works more often than it doesn't. And I appreciate that the movie never gets to the point where it feels campy. I think it might have ruined the movie if they had done that. Normal starts off like an especially weird episode of Fargo, but somehow turns into a 90-minute long action comedy. But it does somehow work, and I was happy by the time I got to the end of it, so yeah, I would recommend the movie. And I wouldn't mind seeing a sequel if they decide to make one.